painting that hangs on the wall of our home reminds us about what life is really about. For the Colson Center, I'm John Stonestreet with Breakpoint. In his book, Life with a Capital L, author Matt Hurd describes a famous oil painting by Russian artist Nikolai Yaroshenko. Quote, 5 diverse prisoners, a soldier, a worker, a peasant, a mother, and a child, are huddled together peering through the barred window of a halted prison railcar. The child reaches through the steel bars feeding pigeons on the railway platform. Even in the midst of an awful predicament, the 5 prisoners were making a choice to engage with something. But with what? Yaroshenko's title gives the clue. There is life everywhere. Given the devastation in Ukraine, this is a profound meditation. Even as I write this, casualties are mounting. The Russian military is increasingly targeting civilian infrastructure, including a maternity ward. The resulting images, pregnant mothers and newborn infants being pulled out of the wreckage, shell-shocked faces covered with blood, thousands crammed into bus stations and bomb shelters and fleeing across Poland's border, all of this reminds us that life after Eden can be brutal, evil, full of horror. Ironically, thousands of refugees are now streaming towards Nikolai Yaroshenko's own hometown of Poltava, once a city of the Russian Empire, but now part of central Ukraine. When the scale of a crisis is this large, the dominant feeling for those of us watching is helplessness. After all, if the actions of entire nations hasn't been enough to stop Vladimir Putin, what can ordinary people like us do? Like Yaroshenko's prisoners, we're trapped here in this broken world. We're forced to deal with life's fundamental brokenness and the stark realities of human evil. Yaroshenko's response takes the form of a kid's grubby hand holding crumbs out for pigeons, of a mom pointing her child to a simple wonder, and others taking it all in, even while facing a grim future. Yes, evil may be everywhere, but so is life, so is goodness, so is beauty. Everything might be broken, but the goodness of our Creator's handiwork shines through the darkness. In fact, in a very real sense, the very fact that we recognize the darkness as darkness and evil as evil presupposes the existence of light and goodness. And even in the midst of the darkness and evil in Ukraine right now, there is light, there is goodness, there is beauty. Take brand new baby Mia, born in a Kyiv bomb shelter as explosions rock the surrounding neighborhoods. Take the nearly 4,000 marriages, some officiated in a mixture of bridal wear and fatigues, performed even as Russian troops were bearing down on the city. For Christians, the context for the existence of evil is not just the good creation which precedes it. It's the redemption that will eventually overcome it. Anchored in his victory over death, Jesus offers abundant, overflowing life, not just in the distant future, but now. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy, Jesus announced. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. This is no prosperity gospel. This is no detached, pietistic hope for heaven. In Christ, there is life, which both secures our eternal destiny and endows our earthly existence with meaning and love and identity. C.S. Lewis articulated this brilliantly in his 1948 essay, On Living in an Atomic Age. As the world first faced this possibility of nuclear destruction, Lewis offered an eternal context. Quote, those who care for something else more than civilization are the only people by whom civilization is at all likely to be preserved. Those who want heaven most have served earth best. Those who love man less than God do most for man. So, Lewis argued, should the atomic bomb ever drop, it ought find us doing sensible and human things, praying, working, listening to music, laughing, talking with friends. This is no naive or lighthearted invitation to shirk our responsibilities. It's an invitation to celebrate the good things, even when by every worldly standard, the only response is despair. Even now, there are Christians in Ukraine living this out, packing churches, singing hymns in a metro station. Volunteers who once hosted Night to Remember events with the Tim Tebow Foundation are now evacuating special needs families with their own trucks and gas. Indeed, there is life everywhere, because in Christ, there is life, abundant life, even in our darkest moments. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, wrote James, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Those words describe the joy and the courage that Christians have embodied for millennia, from the earliest martyrs to the Chibok schoolgirls, because, at the end of the day, there is life everywhere. In Christ, abundant life. For the Colson Center, I'm John Stonestreet with Breakpoint.